Let's take a look at this A section. It's made up of 4 chords: G, C, D7, back to G. Each measure outlines one of these chords. So measure 1 outlines G. Right? We have a B, D, and then a scale starting on G. We need to structure our fingering as if we're playing a chord. Because if we were to think of it one note at a time, say we play 1 on D, 2 on B, in order to play that G, we need to move our 1 all the way down. Whereas if we're thinking of the fingering like a chord, say 1 on D, 3 on B, 2 on G, it's very smooth, very connected, and my fingers are always where they need to be without any jumps. And this just helps us smooth out this line. And not only does it make our lives easier, technically, it also serves the music better. On this next phrase, we have a C into a G. And the C part is pretty straightforward. There's really nothing special with the fingering there. It's very easy to play smooth and connected. However, once we get this transition to the G, that's when we need to think about our fingering. So say I played a 2 on this F sharp, I'd have to play my 1 on B, and then to get to these next Gs, I'd have to jump my 1 over. Whereas if I play 3 on the F sharp, B on 2, and G on 1, the only movement that I'm making is just depressing the fingers when it's necessary. This next section is pretty straightforward. We have this D7 to G, back to D. And the first 2 measures, just play them very easily, 1 and 2, don't think about it. However, once we reach this D, we need to think a little more. This D goes... Well, if we were just to play 1 on the D and 3 on the F sharp, we have plenty of time to jump our finger up. However, I find it easier to finger it just like a D, for the same reasons as everything else. After that, we get a little weird. We have this appoggiatura to A. The appoggiatura is not part of the melody. It is an ornament. The A is the melody note. And I'd advise you when you're practicing the piece, first learning it, to skip the appoggiatura and just play the A so that you can really get the essential parts of the piece down into your fingers and then add ornaments later once you're comfortable. Additionally, in this measure, we have this polyphonic line, which is just a descending scale. It's not very complicated. Just hold down the A and finger normally. This scale ends on the same A as our melody note, so we need to sort of cut off the melody so that we can re-articulate it. One final thing to note is I advise you to play the B with your 3rd finger so that we're ready to play the G in the next chord. Now we have the theme, all the same. The ending, very straightforward. 3rd scale, 3rd scale, 3rd scale. Easy, you got it. We get a little wild in the B section because now we have 4 chords. G, C, A, D7, back to G. Measure 1 outlines G. I advise you to take the D with the second finger and the A with your first finger, for the same reason that I've stated a million times. It also prepares you for the next measure, which is D. So you really don't have to do anything besides get your third finger onto this F sharp. While you play that first G measure, you can even hover your third finger over the F sharp just to make it easier when it comes. At the end of that D measure, we need to take the last D with our first finger so we can smoothly transition to this G, which has an F sharp passing tone in the melody. Right, play it like a chord. That's a G major 7. If we can play it like a chord, our fingering is good. The next measure outlines A. The real struggle here is in our left hand. Our right hand's very easy. All we're playing is A and C sharp. However, on the left hand, we have to play E, B, and C sharp. Once again, finger it like a chord, and you have a good fingering. Next measure is just an A scale to G, nothing super fancy we need to do with our fingering there. Just make sure that you can take this next D and F sharp with 1 and 3. Once again, outline the chord. Those are sort of different chords, but we can combine them for fingering's sake. Following that, we resolve back to this D. D and C in the right hand, nothing complicated there. Next up, we return to G. Keep your same fingering for every other G that you've played in this piece. Different melody, same fingering concept. Then we have C. For the C, you can do sort of the same deal where we chord it. It's very natural. Your fingers will fall into this position. You got it. Then a scale in thirds. Yeah. Then we return to D. This measure, fingering is important. For this final F sharp and A, you should take it with your first finger on A, third finger on F sharp, so that your second finger is ready to play the D in the following measure. Then we scale up. Then we have this little sixth followed by a couple of thirds. And you can outline this, E minor. Then we return to G. For this last little bit of the piece, play first finger on D, third finger on F sharp, so that you're ready to take this low B with your second finger. Once again, play it like a chord. And you got it. All your fingers fall into place. You did it. Congratulations.